Yeah, it's up all the way. Ready? Okay. Good evening, everybody. We're calling the meeting to order. It is 6:31 p.m. And we are going to, I think, first do an introduction of new members. So, okay. Oh, who's missing? Okay. Okay. Sorry. So we got okay. No, that's good. So we have a couple of people missing. Mary Cirelli, Ciccarelli, Jane Gabriels, and Linda Green, I believe. So today, but we do have a and I've been asked if each of the new members of the board could do a brief introduction and if you would speak up because we are being recorded for the public. Who would like to start?
I'm Sue Heisner, and thank you for having me on your board.
There is a little history to Sue being on the board. Her husband was on years ago, and he actually ended up being the president of the board before we finally felt he had done his due. And we have a resident expert.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm Joan Peebles, and I'm recently a full-time resident here in Bolton. I'm really excited about doing this. It's a way for me to get involved in my community and making friends. I'm going to blame it all on Elizabeth, my little neighbor. That's all we all about everything. Looking forward to working with this group. Thank you. I'm Erin Gleason. I have been a full-time resident of Bolton since 2018. I echo everything that Joan said. I'm really looking forward to this. I thought it was a great opportunity to connect with people in the community and serve a noble cause here. Thank you.
I'm Amy Holmes, and I've been here since 2021, and I grew up in Spring Lake, and we talking in Megan, it sounds like we might be some of the biggest library users.
They both have one time. Welcome. So then I guess next, did everyone have a chance to take a look at the minutes from the previous meetings? And does anybody have any questions or corrections?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the minutes. Do we have a second?
I'll second. Lynn.
Lynn seconds. And then we move on to the draft. Oh, okay. The motion has been made and seconded. All in favor? Okay. So the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Okay. I did. Okay, the motion has been approved. Good. Excellent. All right, next we'll move on to the financial report. Michelle.
Okay, I sent, did everybody get the treasurer's report? Because they never know the first time they go out if everybody's email went there. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about what they received? Because what I offer up is if anybody would like a quick tutorial, I can meet you not here, but at some other point to kind of go through the P&L, the balance sheet, and the expenses that are paid on a monthly basis. So you don't need to do it now, but if you do have questions, you can just let me know. I'd be happy to come in and go over it with everybody. That being said, I'll keep the rest of what I have to talk about to the finance portion of the recording.
So, because it doesn't have to be approved, it's just accepted into the minutes. I'll make a motion to, the treasurer's report. And the comments too.
Oh, I second the motion.
Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Then we move on to the director's progress and service report. I apologize for being really late. I didn't send it out until this afternoon.
I just had it. Not a lot of big changes. The circulation is down a little. But the amount of books that are being loaned through Overdrive has gone up. There was also 2 new users. The library wireless, the use of it's gone down a little bit over last year. Probably because it's really too cold to sit out there in the car. We have received 120 books from other libraries. 50 or so would go to Amy. And we sent out 156. So that would be books of ours that we wrote to other people for. In December, we signed up 5 new patrons. I did ask about Affinity. None of them had an account at TV, but I did say, if you should change your mind, please let us know. And then Affinity helped us out.
They did not have
They did not have TV Bank.
TV Bank.
And didn't seem like they were going.
Excuse me, about the TV bank.
Yes,
If we signed up many years ago for that, is it still?
you should be still listening.
But I would confirm that.
Okay.
Just make sure that you
Yeah.
are, just so for the news people, I don't know if any of our new folks bank with TV Bank. Okay, but what it is, it's a great program. It doesn't cost us anything. If a patron of the TV Bank goes in and said, I'd like to support the Bolton Free Library through your affinity program, we get $50 if they've got a checking account, and then if they've got some sort of savings mechanism, we get a percentage of that. And we've got anywhere from $900 to $6,000 a year. COVID was very good for that program. But that was a shock. Last year, I think we got $2,700. But you have to maintain the same level of checking account holders. And at last, we were short 1. So I think somebody in town said they were going to go and sign up. I hope they did. But generally, I think the cutoff is next week.
The other thing, the students, all of the employees, the international employees who come here and work, they all use TD Bank, but the account has to be a year.
Yeah, they can't open it and close.
They can't open an account in May when they arrive, and then all of them close again in October. So yeah, those are.
Yeah, and these are year-round account holders, but it's a great program, and
I will check tomorrow to make
You
sure
can get-
that
yeah,
it's still there, and if not, there's going to be a lot of people who have been dropped off their list, so, you know.
Yeah, oh, that would be good. And Maury, Christine, the woman who was the customer service person, was the most knowledgeable about it there. If she's not there, Moriana may be able, she was going to work on trying to find some information, but they should be, somebody there should be able to at least go in and look. They can look at your account and see if you're attached to the whole library. That's the first part, getting any more information would be hard. Thanks.
Does it have to be at this point?
No, you just have to be a TV Bank.
I think my mother-in-law is, but she's not involved. She's
That-
probably goes to a different branch.
Well, I don't know if they do it regionally, because normally it would be like, there's other not-for-profits here that are buying
But she's
for
close.
they're saying, what's that?
She's close, just not involved.
You can have ask.
Yeah.
Drag her in. That would be great.
Go to the banking, and come to the library at the same
Tell me a little bit.
Anyway, the activities were not as well attended as the programs are in the summertime. We've done one trivia last month, and 10 people came, which was actually a really good number. They did not like me that night because I was reminding them all of the things that happened last year, and a lot of people didn't remember. I also had I had like 30 questions on people who died last year. I'm like, well, this is just making me too sad. I can't keep doing it. But that part was actually good. Book club, we had 15 people came. And then upcoming, we have this tomorrow night is Painting with Patrice, where we're going to paint moon over the lake. And we have built it up. Then then after that, the next program is that one that the military army's putting on. It's something.
I heard that was very interesting from some people who did it on Warren County. That's all.
And Sarah and I are working on, actually, let's include myself because it's my assistant doing it, but we're working on a list of programming for a grant that she and Jamie want to apply for. So when we have to have a actual programming for them, it's for isolated senior citizens.
Senior isolation, to combat senior isolation in the community.
But we can't just say we're going to do a program. We have to have it. So we're working on it.
We have a list.
And 5 people learned how to make stars out of paper bags. And no one could make the origami tree. It turned out to be harder than it looked. Sarah has no self-esteem issues, so she put out her mistakes and said, you know, maybe you could do better. But it was so fun. We had a really good time. And that's it.
So we need a motion to accept directors.
I'll make the motion to.
Accept. So Lynn made a motion. And we need a second. Okay, Terry, second. Okay, so just checking to make sure that everyone receives Sarah's social media reports.
If you are on Facebook and you have not gone to the library's Facebook page, you should. Sarah maintains it really well. She keeps it really interesting, non-political. It's either funny or just really smart. Also, she includes all the programs that are going on here. And the other thing, oh, she
Mostly informational, new books, old books, but she also has a
something
library
about the
offers.
Adirondack experience. You were going to say you were going to share too.
Yep, did that.
So yes, if you haven't been to the library's Facebook page, check it out. We are also on Instagram, which Sarah says we're getting a really good response to. So check them out.
Thank you. All right, so I think we're moving to the report from the nominating committee, and I believe Lynn.
Yes, all I was told. Linda said, for me to present the slate of officers. Oh, the slate of officers is being presented. President is Linda Green. Vice President is Terry
Ross. Oh,
Rand.
Put my maiden name.
Oh. I just called it Terry. Secretary is Amy Holmes. And treasurer is Aaron Jason.
so those are the nominations. That's not the
Oh, now, oh, I said,
you know.
not really.
I think I know. So I'm asking if there are any nominations from the different than those nominations. Okay, so given that there are no additional nominations, I'm asking for a motion to approve the slate of nominations. As presented.
We can do that.
Yes, you can.
You make a motion.
Make the motion.
Okay, wonderful. That's Sue, and then we need a second. Okay, Joan will second. Thank you. Okay, so that has been. Oh, right. Okay, all in favor. Thank you, and it's been accepted. All right, thank you, and congratulations, everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
you don't have people here.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so next on the list is we're talking about committee assignments. So what we're going to do is send around a sign-up sheet if you're interested. We're looking for hopefully 2 committees, each person, if possible. And then we'll also add a description of the committees, so that if you need to take a look at what those committees are about, you have that information. And then I guess just do the best you can do during the meeting. If you have any questions, you're welcome to talk with us after. And then we will formalize this at the next meeting. Awesome, thank you. That's all I need to do for that. So then we're moving on to the committee reports. The first is the executive committee.
We did not.
Did not meet, okay, so no meeting. So then the next is Michelle with the financial.
I included this in the email that sent out the report. So the first part is I just want, the appeal letter is getting a really positive response. We got the money, came in very quickly after landed in people's mailboxes. So we exceeded our budgeted amount, and right now we are ahead of the 23-24 year. So we are doing very well. They're starting to slow down and getting, a couple checks maybe, every other day or so. So we'll keep track of this probably through March or April. And I'll give you an update each month, and it'll show up on the P&L, how we are doing within this 2025 budget year, and also how it compares to the overlapping years. So that was a positive thing to see. The next thing I think the board should vote on is we have a 6-month CD that matures February 17th. Interest rates are dropping, but the best rate that they've got going now is a 9-month CD, and that's a 3.85 annual percentage yield. We've done a little over $3,800 in interest with the $50,000 that we put in originally. So we don't need that money, and that money is what we consider our capital reserve fund. And I don't know of anything that's coming within the next 9 months where we would need that money. But there is money in the money market account if there are any that we would take care of. So I would use motion to turn that into 9 months. 217. Okay, thank you, Jerry.
Anybody's going to second that?
Yeah.
Awesome, Jonas.
And then if it does change, those are the percentage yields as of January 10th. So I don't think they're going to change, but who knows? But if it does change, I will let everybody know. But if not, we will go with it. Thank you. Okay, one more thing. I've spoken with our new treasurer, Aaron, and I think we would like to propose upgrading our QuickBooks to include a budget component. I think it may eliminate the spreadsheet process, which would make this a lot easier for the treasurer. And I don't know what the report actually looks like. I know it does report either on an annual basis, a monthly basis, that type of thing. Whether it can be annotated or not, but we can talk about that going forward. It is more expensive. It's going to go from like $790 to a little over $1,000 a year, and QuickBooks keeps going up. It doesn't go down. So there's enough money in the budget to cover the upgrade at this point until, and then in 2026 we probably have to increase the software budget to accommodate that. But I think ultimately it would make the reporting a lot easier for whoever's doing it, and would involve a big spreadsheet and transferring that.
I'll make a motion to upgrade that. You?
So second it, folks.
Thank you. Carrie, was that you who made the motion?
Sue has your second.
Just a quick question, Michelle. I've seen your email about Denise Johnson. Are we not?
Well,
Right.
I told her I would, okay, we talked to somebody in town that was willing to do the bookkeeping services. And I told her we were meeting tonight and that I would follow up with her. I met with Aaron before, and I think what we're going to try to do, Aaron's leaving for a month. So we're going to, when she comes back, we're going to work on just getting her familiar with QuickBooks and then maybe dividing it up between Denise and Eric. But I think this way, Erin's got a working knowledge of how it works because, you know, yeah, it's pretty intuitive, but having not worked with it, I think, I don't want to speak for you, but you'd be more comfortable at least having a working knowledge of it. And then you could, you know, you would be working with Denise, so you know what she was doing.
Perfect.
But you know, in talking to Denise, I know a lot of what she does on a daily basis in a real job is exactly what we would do. So I think it would be a good fit.
Yes,
Thank you.
policies and procedures.
Actually, the two items that are on there are, having the library card policy, which we didn't have, and Sarah and I actually have done it, but, before you can actually approve it, you have to see it, so I will be sending copies of that out. And then the second one is the multifaceted authentication policy, which is also finished. For me, it's a really good plus because those are two of my goals for 2025.
There you go.
So, but I will be sending those out before the next meeting, so that.
Any questions about that? Okay, long range plan.
Without that presence.
Okay.
Maybe explain what the long range plan is, or Michelle and I can, we have.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, she'll probably better at it. The long range plan basically is where you just say where you want to see us the next 5 years out. And you have to, but it has to be written up. You need to do somewhat of a survey of the community. But one of the things that Michelle has talked about quite a bit is sustainable funding, and that is a concern of hers. So that was one of the things that the previous trustee, who was the head of that committee, was talking about. Is it 259?
Or the 259.
259 proposition, which would make us a school district.
It would be a school taxing district.
Yeah.
Where our funding would come from. And I think, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it now because I'd like to find out who the long range committee is going to be, and then we could do a little bit of a, you know, tutorial on what that is. But I think we've got some good help in the community going forward with that. But you know, regarding the long range plan, it's not, it's all encompassing for the library. So it's the physical structure. When are we going to need a new roof? You know, you think about like 5 years out, what kind of finances are we going to need to do what we need to do? And then there's talk about a heating system that needs to be addressed. And it's also the programming, it's staffing issues that need to be addressed. And then as well as just sort of your, you know, how the finances would work and where the money would be coming from. The sustainability of the library. So it's got a lot of different components to it. And there is a rough draft of something.
Yes,
floating around.
I know I have it saved, and if anybody wants to see it. And it is a state mandate that we have. So right now what we have is something that was done more than 6 years ago.
Yeah, but I think you've got Dina's notes.
I do have Dina's notes, but there was a long range plan that was done, and it was done half-hearted. So we do have to have one that is up to date and addresses all of the concerns of the community. So it's a really important committee to be on.
It's a really important document to have, and I don't know if we stress that enough, because that really is your, you know, the guidepost that you want to use going forward. And it makes you as a board think about, you know, what do you want your library to be? How does it function in the community? And it's getting input from the board, it's getting input from the community. You know, identifying the stakeholders and asking them.
For some examples, there be like the Lake George Library has theirs and worked with a committee. There are professionals that actually come in and help you do it. I'm not sure that that's absolutely necessary, but if you go to the Lake George Library, I think it's listed Caldwell Lake George Library. You can look and see their plan of services on there. Some of the bigger libraries, I know that Saratoga Library has theirs done, Falls. So, go in and take a look at what some of them are.
Um, Fundraising, I think it's the same, there'll be more discussion once the fundraising committee is established. But I think the point in talking about it right now is just to think about different ideas that might be of interest to you to have the library pursue to raise funds. Because we do get funds from the town, but we also are responsible to try to raise money through fundraising efforts. So.
There is an idea that I actually floated out there for a fundraising event. And years ago, the library we called it a gala. There was a party down in the park on the pier. And it would be something similar to that, but less moving parts. So I would like to see there's a local band that is really popular in town and they have offered their services. Have just music and food. My thought was to get food trucks that could actually, be in the park, probably a beer truck, and then hoping that we just get a lot of donations. I just don't want to do live auction, silent auction, Chinese auction, those things end up being a lot more. So it is, once the new board, now that you're all here, we can have a meeting and talk.
I can do that, but that's why you're looking at it. But it is a line item on the budget that the new fundraiser would raise $3,000. We added it to balance the budget. So there is a little pressure that.
What we forgot to do is. What are you thinking about it? It could be a really fun project. I've talked to a number of people. Just having the band is really incredible. They really are a draw. So it could be fun.
So buildings and grounds, do you want to just review what's currently being worked on?
Those items are on there because they aren't complete.
They're not complete, right?
And there wasn't, yes.
Did you want to go over anything there, Wendy?
Well, much the striking parking lot. I think we have to wait for the town. It's all tied up with the town. They just weren't able to do it before winter. So hopefully they'll come in here and do it.
Ron Conover promises, Ron is the town supervisor, and he does promise it will be done by next, by summer.
By summer. Okay. The flowers.
That's for the native garden.
Okay. Yes, we have a Audubon approved native garden out here.
It's not.
Yep, on the north side, right here.
It's going to be here.
Yes,
Yes.
On the north side.
yes.
Okay. Right here.
Yep, the land's all been prepped.
And we got a grant for that.
Yep, the grant paid for the land prep, and the second grant is for the flowers through Warren County. But we got approved for the grant too late to purchase the flowers and get them in the ground, so that was deferred. It's roughly $1,100 worth of native seeds and plants we can put in there. And well, when you guys meet again with the new members, we can contact Warren County and let them know when we think we can safely purchase them and get them in the ground.
All right, and where do we stand with the grants for the ramp and the door?
I submitted that to the ALA for round 3 for small and little libraries accessibility, but it's pending hopefully by March because they're anticipated.
That's that. Moving the flagpole. I don't know that we need to do that now that we took that tree down. Is
It's
that
still in the way of it.
still in the way
It
of
is
the
still in the
text?
way of the tent.
The
It's
book
in the
tent.
way of the book. And there was, I don't know how serious a problem it is, but the base is cracked. And we've gone around and around and around about whether it's necessary. I think it is. I think that where it is now, it's lost to the street. There's just so much stuff on the street already when you think about the street lights and signs, the flagpole, the flag itself doesn't stand out. And for me, I mean, I've been here a very long time and I know the reason the flagpole was put there. It doesn't seem that we're honoring the person it was done in memory of by having it just part of the stuff that's out there. I would like to see it come back a little ways. Michelle and I have talked about this several times. someplace that actually you would be able, there's nothing behind, nothing around it, so it would be closer to the building on this side, so all that's behind it is,
Do we have a set to that?
we haven't gotten to that.
Okay.
It's just been talked a lot, but I do think it might be, you know, a good place to start is to actually have someone come and look at the base and see if there is a problem. And I don't want to spend tons of money at the base.
Or just find out what it would cost to actually just move it. because-
And the only other concern that I have, Sarah, what's that kid guy's name?
Matt.
Matt, is a guy who, uses the library quite a bit. He was in the military. I believe he was a Marine. And he said, you do have to be careful how close to a building you are because the flag can't touch the building around it. So that would definitely be, my thought was to then include the American Legion in our decision making when we get to, if we could. And Stu's husband, Howard, also in the military.
He said he didn't have to. But because part of it was if the flag is to fly at half staff, then it can't be hitting the building. So it would be just how tall is the flagpole itself. And it does have to be lit if we're not going to take it up and down. But there is already lighting on this building that could be redirected to shine on it if it was close enough.
It would look so much better. The minute Michelle pointed it out to me, where if this one spot, I'm like, oh my God, that would be, it would really highlight the flag. And it's a large one that flew over the Capitol, didn't it? Did we do that? Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, but that one with Dusty.
Yes.
Yeah, it was something.
I can't remember if it actually ended up being that. It's just, the flagpole itself is on the memory of a man who served on the Board of Trustees for 50 years. And it was a real, I mean, he was still on the board when I first started here.
Okay, so further discussion on that.
Yes.
And then finally, the New York Fire and Safety Emergency Protocol.
They are the monitoring service for the fire alarm. And they need to have 3 trustees and, before you pay with the bill, right? And Linda did tell me that she had spoken to, so Linda and Lynn live the closest in town. And then I think the next closest would be Mary Ciccarelli, who isn't here tonight, but she did agree to be on this call list. So they would be notified by the monitoring system that there is something happening to them. Usually it has been false alarms. But those people would receive a phone call and then they have to come, they have to call the company. And get everything set up. I never want to be unhappy. But the protocol for the, what they have to do is posted on the door by where the box is. And then also those 3 trustees have a copy of that.
I'm mine right now. I don't know.
We can, and I can send you that.
Any questions about buildings and grounds in process activities? Okay, so we'll move on to the book sale. Are we just talking about the dates at this point? Because we don't have a committee established yet. So it looks like the dates set up are July 23rd and 24th. That includes setting up the tents and prepping the books, bring them downstairs. And then the sale itself is the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th.
And the 24th was that preview.
Oh, and the evening of the 20th.
Are they doing it? I mean,
I would
it's
assume
Sue and Mary. I think so.
I'm assuming we're going to do a preview.
So there may be a preview night, which is a really great night to sell and also to bring in more funds because we charge. Okay, so more information as the time comes. Do we have any, I guess, Sarah, any information grants?
I still need to submit the Cloud Splitter Foundation grant for a new, projector, couldn't think of the word. The Cloud Splitter Foundation website, we're not allowed to access it. They haven't updated their security certificate or something, so I'll do it from home, from my computer. They meet quarterly for their grants, so it's not a big deal. It's less than $1,000. We'll keep our fingers crossed for that. The Stewart's Holiday Match was submitted by Jane that went in, or me, I can't remember, I get them mixed up. Jane did the Savamo, I did the Stewart's Holiday Match. Those are both in, and we're waiting to find out about both of those. The ALA round 3, we were asking for $20,000 to make the outer door and the bathroom door handicap accessible. They're both very heavy and awkward. In round 1 and round 2, we submitted grants for both of those rounds, and we got $10,000 for each round, and that's how we did the sidewalks out front and made everything accessible. And the Larac grant has not been decided yet. We submitted for another round of Paint with Patrice series. And we have found another grant through ALA. Megan found out about it. It's called the Peggy Barber Grant, and we'll be submitting that. That's the one we were talking about for senior isolation in the community, how to bring the seniors into the library, and with helpful programs, but fun programs too. We'll be submitting the same ideas that we did with Salamo for the Peggy Barber Grant. They picked 3 very small rural libraries for $2,500 apiece, so that would be significant for us. So for the Pomeroy Foundation, the marker has been ordered, and it's a 24-week advance notice, but it's in, it's ordered, it's paid for, so now we wait 6 months. 24 to 32. Had to read that one twice. Yep.
Thank you, Sarah. Personnel?
Linda and I are working on that. We did not meet the last quarter of last year. So she and I have talked about what my goals are going to be, and obviously I've met 2 of them already. The third that we both agreed on was to actually come up with a community survey. So if anyone has done that in the past, I would love your help. Don't want to. I'm not sure how to word questions, and so Sarah and I have talked about because you don't want to you don't want it to lead them to give the answer I want. You want them to actually have an honest response from the community. So if anybody's interested in helping these questions, we would really appreciate it.
Thank you. And then Sunshine Committee, that's usually very, not here.
She did, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think she volunteered to do that again.
Yeah, she did write one of them.
Okay, so, okay, perfect.
She wanted sunshine and
Okay, so we'll actually, are there any thank yous that should be going out? We could take another up and share. No. Wonderful. And then last but not least is farmers market. Did you want to talk?
Just to be aware of it, most of you already know that the library has a booth at the farmers market. It is a great way for the library to be out in front of the community. Plus they get to meet other people besides Sarah and I. Trustees sign up and sit there. Some days can be boring as and other days can be really fun. And it really is a really cool event that we do every Friday all summer. Michelle came up with the idea of journals. So, you know, the marble notebooks that we used to use in school, we get them in really bright colors and we give those out. And they're marked with our logo, the journals and colored pencils, which the kids love. Plus, there's a woman in town who does these baskets for us. They're all donations, and so we raised some money. There's also a quilt, usually a quilt, and an Afghan that the knitting group makes. I liked the first one because it was off light, but everybody raved about the blue ones, which grew one last year. So it's just a really nice time, unless it's raining.
Okay, so more to come on the farmers. So I think, do I need to?
Now you have asked for a motion to approve it.
Okay, so looking for a motion to approve the committee reports.
I'll make a motion to approve the committee reports.
Okay, and then we need a second. Okay, beautiful. And then we need all in favor. Okay, so committee reports have been approved. See, I'm getting it. All right, we're moving on to unfinished business. So the first notation is Amazon Prime for libraries.
It is something that we've been working on. We don't pay sales tax to Amazon, but we were paying shipping. And so Sarah and I had done a lot of research and we were looking for, if Amazon offered a cheaper rate for Prime to not-for-profit organizations. Well, right now, they're offering it free to libraries, but it is a 1-year membership. So that's what we have right now. And if I did the math, I could tell you how much we've already saved, but it's substantial. Once, and it's on my calendar in, did I decide November? To just go back in and make sure that we renew it, but we are, make sure we're still gonna get a rate that's feasible. Otherwise, it's Prime could be really expensive for business.
It was $499, which is more than we had spent on
Yes,
shipping.
that was more.
Is that the business rate?
Yeah.
So could someone do it privately or just put it in the library?
Well, that's the whole, it's the sales tax thing, so.
There was Carla Cumming, who was on the past trustee. She has done a lot of ordering for us, but there were a couple of times she had free shipping, but she paid sales tax, and they were kind of a wash. You know, usually the shipping is a little more, but so that's why we're even talking about it. Sure. We'll see what happens in November.
Yeah, 1 year at a time. Okay, excellent. The Pomeroy Foundation, the historical marker, we talked about that already, so that's done. Trustee training requirements, my favorite. So, just for those of you new board members, every year you're required to do 2 hours of training. Megan is great about sending out emails and information about how to access the training. You might want to talk about that a little bit.
I think I sent one out today that had a link into, it's the trustee handbook, which there are copies here. I also was able to, there was a link in the, on the Sal's website for this handbook as well. So if you don't want to take this one, but there are copies here for you. They do a book club, or it's the trustee handbook book club. And you can pick and choose the ones that you want. They also, in the link I sent you, there was a list of the recorded webinars, so you can go back in and watch them. And that also counts for your education. The problem is that they're an hour and a half. So you have to do, you always have to do too. And then the other training you have to do is sexual harassment prevention training. And I will send out a link for that. But there's also, Erin did hers through the New York City.
For New York State, I went to that handbook and it linked me then to the course. It was
Okay.
15 minutes, very easy.
You cannot not watch
Yes.
because
You have to click through.
that was just that you have to click through.
Well, they could.
Yes.
And if you have it at your work, like we have to do it every year at work. Yep, just give the certificate.
And since Amy works from home, her husband gives her to take it out. Or do you have to do it through your company?
Not usually. It's, we did have to do something, but not a certificate kind of thing.
Well, there is also
So
a
documentation.
self-assurance form that if you do it somewhere and you don't get a certificate, we have the self-assurance that says, yes, I did it.
So there's some kind of documentation
Yes.
that we have somewhere that we need to. Do you make any documentation of that, or I just need to have something? Or?
No, I can, if you've done it, I have a form you can sign.
I haven't yet.
Okay, when you do.
Okay.
So even with webinars, you watch something through. It's written in the description of what I watched for 2 hours.
So you can check that.
Most of them, all of them have, you know, there are different areas of interest. You know, if you're interested in finances, there was a bunch of, there was a different webinars for that.
There's legal
They're
stuff.
done really well.
Are there any that newbies should do
Yes.
first?
No, but there are,
They do one for new board members.
Yeah.
Is it like,
Yes.
what is it like to be, what are your responsibilities as a trustee?
Is that one that we should do? Or?
you know what, let me do some research, and I'll send you a link, because I know that there is a recorded one for that. And then there's also some great ones through the New York State Library. I think I
I watched some really great ones that were other libraries talking about programming that they had done. And it was great because they had some phenomenal ideas. So, you know, if you're thinking about programming, that's a really good way to learn about other successful opportunities. Okay, any questions about that? It's a little complicated, but you get the hang of it once you get started. And then this is the seed library.
We have another shipment that's been mailed, Hudson Valley Seed Company responded to the online email form I filled out, so we're getting about $70 worth of seeds, and we had to pay $5 in shipping to get them. And that will give us probably enough seeds to get started. Burpee had sent us a box too after I had emailed them a query as well. And what we do is we break down each seed packet, and anyone with a library card can come in, and we have little coin envelopes where we'll divvy out the seeds. And people with their library card can come in and get 2 or 3 or 4 envelopes of different flowers and vegetable seeds each time. And we do ask that when their produce comes in, if they can save some seeds and give them back, that's how we would keep the seed library going if it's successful and people want to participate.
These are all vegetable seeds.
Right now we have all flowers, and Hudson Valley, we don't know what we're getting from them. But we probably got 80 packets from Burpee, I think, of 4 different kinds of flowers. So you get what you get, but it's free. Yeah. We like free. But hopefully we'll get that started in March.
New York Fire and Safety we already talked about, so I think we are done with unfinished business and moving on to new business. Megan, did you want to talk about library representatives town meetings?
The town board meets once a month. They meet on the first Tuesday of every month at 6. And I think it's really important that the library be represented. So it would be 1 month. There's, I don't ask that anybody go in July and August. So that's 10. I'm more than willing to go to ones that you guys can't, or go with you. Sometimes it's really.
I have the dates here. Do you want me to go through them?
Do you want one person or different meetings?
So if you would like to, if people could, the dates are up that the town board meetings are in the agenda. If you would look at it and sign up.
Pick some.
Pick one and go. Come in and talk to me first. I can give you like a kind of an spiel, the programs we're doing, that type of thing. Plus, there is a library liaison on town board, and that's Brendan Marine. So, you know, he's aware of what's happening. But I think it's important that we represent ourselves there, because we get a lot of.
I just couldn't go to every one, but.
No, just pick one.
Do you want to create a sun sheet for people who are available?
So we'll make up I'll make up a sign up sheet and send it out to you. February 4th is going to be the next one. Is there anybody that would be? And they do start right at 6, and you are done usually probably 6:45.
My 6 a.m. flight the next day says, no, I'm good.
Well, somebody is available February 4th. Let Megan know. Okay, thank you. Volunteer to pick up mail 3 to 5 days per
That's
week.
actually doesn't.
It doesn't. Okay,
It's just
so
something
even
that
though we said
Michelle
thank you
does.
to Joan because Joan's.
Yeah, I said I would do it.
Yes, okay. So actually, it's just not something that has to start until. I thought Linda told me that you were going to pick up.
No, she told me something.
I'm really confused. Anyway, it is something that Michelle does right now. It is kind of part of her responsibilities because she sees the bills that come in, she sees the checks that come in, and then she brings anything else to me. So for now, we don't need anyone to do it except.
So we're gonna wait and get Aaron up to speed, transition, and then once we transition everything.
Yeah, she said it'd be an evening, and then there's somebody else in the backup.
That was
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And, so, you know, I'm willing to do that, and I do have, most of us, I guess, do have post office.
Right,
So it's
so-
no big deal to go there.
Because it's mail and packages
Yeah,
sometimes.
anything,
Yeah, so we'll stay tuned.
Okay,
okay. So we're on hold.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. Communications.
The only thing I had was, I just wanted to bring up the fact that we had discussed canceling our Canopy subscription. We did not get a lot of use. It was an interesting experience. Canopy is a streaming service of TV shows and movies. How much did it cost?
18, 20, maybe 34, $78.
How much?
No,
No,
Total.
yeah, well, we have very limited participation.
You got charged.
There were a lot of looks. They would send us a breakdown of how many people looked at. And so there were a lot of looks. Obviously, it was not a collection that took enough people. So I would rather, I don't know that we have to offer streaming service to our patrons. Most people seem to have it already. And there are, you can download movies through, you can actually do it through Overdrive. And we have a DVD collection still, so I'm not sure it's a service we have to provide.
Well, it's interesting because our biggest month was December.
And
It was $10, which was, but, so I don't know.
I think they probably had a lot of holiday.
Yeah, so I'm curious,
I even had a friend look, I asked him to, so he signed up and he said, just wasn't anything that. And Sarah also, she and her husband had looked through it a few times and said, there's just nothing done. I don't know that it's a service we, especially this one. Somebody comes in and says, Hoopla is great and I love it. Maybe then we can.
Do you have to let them know you want to do it anymore? How does that work?
I would assume I have to let them know. So I will do that.
We originally, it was budgeted like $750, and that was part of our video budget that we were working on. And it just didn't seem to get the use that, so. I don't know, from them, I don't know if this works or not for their business model. $4 bill, $8 bill. Yeah.
So you'll let them know. Yes, I will.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Ongoing events.
I think I kind of talked about it already in my report. Nothing else really.
Aquatic invasive species.
That's coming up in May. We did have a conflict with one of the Patrice programs, but Patrice agreed to move it. And someone from that group came in and talked to me to make sure. And then someone from the military preparedness came in just to make sure that they were on schedule for that.
Military. Who went to see it. Who went to see it in the military. They give you lots of stuff, so you're prepared if any disaster happens.
I continue every week possible to go to the after school program. I find that, there's about 20 kids usually, but it goes down really quick. When you get there, there's a lot, and then they're by 4:30, they're almost all gone. So we do something that goes with it, like there's all of these quirky holidays. Last week was National Hat Day, so we made hats, the kind of what you fold newspapers, but we did it in construction paper. And if you go on Facebook, you'll see there was one of the kids actually took he kept making them smaller and smaller, and then hooking them together. So he had a amount of hats. And we had some fun books about hats. There's one that's called "You Must Wear a Hat," and it's the only way you can go to the party that you have a hat, but he can't find a hat. So the kids, they all had a really good time. I'm not sure yet what we're doing now. It's almost spring.
Any other ongoing events you want to review?
We did start, with the trivia, and we will be, next week is going to be trivia. We're going to be doing it twice a month instead of every week.
Oh, just twice a month.
Oh, twice a month. Tell me again.
Chess Club.
Oh, yes, Michelle Huck asked us if we would be interested in sponsoring a chess club. If there's anyone here who plays chess and is interested, it turned out her son expressed interest, so there was a chess club that was in Saratoga somewhere, and he loved it, and so she's done some graphics for us. We're promoting it because the important part about playing chess is that you play other people of your skill set. You don't want to play. So Michael, her son, is playing a lot, so he's much better than say other kids did. So that's what she'd like to see happen. That is going to be on Tuesday nights as well.
There's a sign in the foyer, I think,
I think it's
February 11th.
Tuesdays that they're gonna meet. And we're really excited about it. I think that's all. That's it.
Okay, thank you. And then I guess we're looking for any additional comments, anything anybody wants to add? So then, the next board meeting is February 26th. At 6:30 PM. And if we're all set, I guess we're able to adjourn.
You asked for a motion to adjourn?
I'm asking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Do we have a second? All right, is everyone in agreement? Say
Aye.
All right.
And thank you, Elizabeth.
Absolutely. Thanks for your patience. Yeah.
I don't know.